Okay. So, when you find your true self, how can you identify it?
When you discover your true self, all the doubts that you would have before you recognize yourself, those doubts begin to fall away.
Okay.
Whatever confusion was in your mind, it begins to fall away. And you naturally feel more just fresh and happy and peaceful. And because by this way you know you receive some blessing. You know? And so you become naturally and spontaneously convinced. You don't have to make an effort to believe. Because you feel when you awaken to the true, the false things is not there anymore, they fall away. And when they fall away, you're again in your natural place. You're naturally happy. When you're naturally happy, you have no doubt.
So, then all your doubts fall away on their own?
Yes, they fall. If there are sometimes some doubts might still be there. But now, because the doubts, they try to hold on to similar things to hold on the ground. But when you wake up, all of them begin to fall away.
Oh, okay.
They all begin to fall away because actually they are not real, but they are strong. When you think that you are just your mind and your habit, then they can work, they can fight with you.
Okay.
But when you realize, I'm not these things, then they have nothing to attack. So they can't live. They can only live while you keep believing you are the person that they can attack.
Okay.
But when you recognize, but they're not real. And if they're not real, you don't have to fight them. They fall away by themselves. It's like if somebody was telling you a lie, and you were believing for a while, and then you begin to doubt if they're telling you, because they're telling other people the same thing. No? And then one day you discover it's not true. When you discover it's not true, then if they come to talk to you again, you say, no, it's okay, no thank you, I don't need to talk.
Okay.
You see, it's just something simple like that. It's proven to you that it's not true. And when something is not true, then you won't be confused about it. Say, no, it's okay. You were only confused because you half believe it, or maybe you really believe it, and then you see that it causes trouble for you. Then you start to doubt that this person is really a friend, or this voice is really true. But then one time you really prove it really happened, you see, it's a lie. And on the day you see it's a lie, then all the doubts, they go.
Yes.
And I sometimes would give another example, like if you imagine that, suppose 5 people are living in one house, and they're all friends, they get on very well.
Yes.
But then another person comes to join the house,
Okay.
and then 6 people in the house, and they come and go. But after 1 month, things start to go missing. Somebody's umbrella, somebody's purse go missing, and wow. Then everybody start to think, who is doing this? Who is doing this? And then they start to think, maybe when we invite some other people to come to the house, maybe somebody outside do it. And then they're confused, and then they start to be suspicious of each other. I wonder if it's them. And you see, then we're confused.
Yeah.
So they put a secret camera. And then they keep looking at the result. And one day they see someone go into the kitchen, and then you see, this is the person. You catch him. Then once you catch this person, then you don't have any doubt about the other people, because you caught the same one. It's the same way like that. Some things in our mind we are not sure about. We believe them, but then they cause trouble. Then you start to think, I don't know if this is true. Like somebody's telling you, you should do this thing. And you do it and you get into trouble. and then you keep getting into trouble. And then if you're smart, you think, next time they tell me to do something, I don't accept it so fully. I watch. Then maybe one day you see, no, it's not true that they're speaking. Then when you see it's not true, then everything fall away. It cannot stay with you. It's just like that.
And I've experienced that once. When I was in Chandigarh, one of my friends, like we used to cycle. So then one day, like there was a park nearby. So then
a park or party?
Park.
A park. Huh?
So there was a lock on it, but then some people climb on it and then they get over. But then the people locked it because grass was growing there. So one day my friend, he told me, let's go play in the park, and I said no, there's a lock. But then he said nothing happens. Then I went in. Then some aunties, they started telling us, they started getting mad at us, and then that happened 2-3 times, and after that he still asked me 2-3 times again, but then I said no.
Yeah.
I doubted him then.
Yeah, just like this. Everybody has this common sense. We call it common sense. Some people, they call it wisdom. You have to sometimes experience something that you doubt it, not sure. But if you believe everything, sometimes you get into trouble very quickly.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to doubt a little bit, But you can start to doubt too much. And some people, they doubt everything. And then, their life seems to stop, like everything, this. But there's a place for doubt. Sometimes, you stop for a moment and you reflect about it, no, I think I don't do this. So this is exercising your power to discern, to recognize what is good for you, what is not good for you. That's good.
That's where your good habits start.
Yes. Yeah,
And one more thing. You were saying that the mind is fake. So
not always. The mind, because everything in a way is mind. What I mean when I say the mind is fake, the mind is especially fake around your identity.
Oh, okay.
Because you need your mind to do maths. It's true enough, it's good enough, it's useful enough. You need your mind to kind of look at something to compare. This is fine. But when it comes about personal identity, because you are not the personal identity, and yet somehow all of us believe that we are our person.
Yes.
If we keep believing that, then our life becomes quite complex.
Yes.
Because the person is always sometimes a bit insecure, always judging people and wanting things, becoming attached to things. You see, it's not really our true life. It's not really our best life, So at some point, we start to doubt it. Is this really what my life is about? I spoke to one lady a few days ago, and she said, I have everything. I have a good job, I have enough money, I have a nice house overlooking Ganga. Everything is fine. But is that what life is about? She said, I'm tired, I don't want this, I don't want this. This is all. Just slow down a little bit. And we had a talk, just like we have talked today. And she came out of it. She just, at the end of the conversation, actually we recorded it, so maybe I will show you actually. And she went from a place where she just felt, I don't have any purpose, my life, it's not enough for me to have money, it's not enough for me to have a nice place, but all these things, okay, I'm happy for them, but it's not enough for me, I need to find something. So I saw that she needed to find herself actually, because everything else will only be for a time.
Yes.
And because she came like that and we talked, she actually used the examples I got and came straight to understand. Just like I spoke with Father, she came to a place of just emptiness inside. And she said, well, you see, wow, I'm just so happy, I'm just so content. And even I was trying to push her a little bit, what about this? And she was just very, very good. And you see that just in a short time, from somebody having such a crazy state, like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, and please help me, I'm always depressed, to ping, they're just sort of like, thank you, I'm so happy. And I says, you sure this happiness is not going to go away? Maybe it'll go away tomorrow? He said, no, I can't go away tomorrow. Because it's not something I'm believing in. It's something I see. That's a big difference. It's not happiness of, I like what I'm feeling today, I want to feel like this every night, not like that. She saw something from the real place in herself, and she realized it cannot go away. It's not just a mood, it's not just a feeling, it's not an idea, it's just true. And when that comes, then I trust it, I say yes. Even though your mind will still come and try to play tricks, but you can catch it more easy now.
So, you said that like it's only like fake when you're like trying to find your true self in that kind of state, right? So,
yeah.
How does it make thoughts then in that state? How does it make thoughts then in that state?
Thoughts, yeah. If we believe the wrong thing about ourselves, then the kind of thoughts that come are the thoughts that come from this wrong place. And we kind of believe them, but they don't make you happy. They sometimes make you very suspicious of other people, makes you very
aggressive?
Huh?
Aggressive?
It can be very aggressive actually, because sometimes you don't like people, you feel threatened by them, which is not true of your true state. When you're in your true state, you're more stable, you're not afraid, you have more space to speak with people in a good way. All these things are so much more better. But when you're not in your happy state, in your natural state, you sometimes become very suspicious, be easily angry. You always want something, but when you get it, you're not satisfied for very long. And people get very frustrated with this kind of life.
And I've experienced that too. Like when I was in Canada, I used to get toys, but then as soon as I got them, I played with it for the rest of the day, but then the next day I'm bored of it.
Yes. Yes. This is like this for many people. We have a fantasy in the mind. If I only get this thing, if I really get this car, man, I'm going to be so happy, and everybody's going to see that I'm really successful. They get the car, and after a while, it's like, it's not a big deal. Or I want to be with this person so much, I really, really want to be this person. Then they become best friends with this person, and after a while, it's kind of, yeah, it's okay, it's okay. So the mind imagines and creates and exaggerates many things. But in the actual experience of being with them, it's actually, it was bigger in my mind. Like sometimes, I have some food that I like from my town, and then I'm not living there for a long time. And then somebody's coming from my town to come and visit me. I think, oh, give me some patties. Yes, I want some patty, I want this particular kind of food. And they go through a lot of trouble to bring this food. And when they come, and then I'm eating it, it's not really so great. Yes. It was more great in my mind.
When you didn't have it.
When I didn't have it and I want it, and I know it's coming, I start to create a lot of, your mind says, wow, this is going to be so tasty. And then actually you're eating it, and it actually is not that tasty. And you realize that really you're just eating memory. You remember, oh, this was so great, and you're eating. And often I found also that I was eating and sometimes talking with somebody, not even paying attention to this food I've been fantasizing about. And they just eating, and I thought, oh, did I eat that? I don't even remember eating it. It's so ridiculous, actually, the way that our mind and our, sort of identity and personality work is very, very strange. But most people don't recognize that, because quickly you forget it. And next time it happens again, and so on. I like talking.
Yeah, it was such a joy to hear his questions.
Yeah. I'm so happy.
He's listening to you, and from the first time, and he says we are going back to Chandigarh for my meeting. He says I will not go. I have to attend satsang. We will come back, okay?